Hey Flosstube, this is Amy. I hope you're having a great stitching week. For those of you that have been here before, thank you so much for coming back to spend time with me. For those of you who are new, this is a channel about this crazy hobby that we call cross stitch. Welcome. It's been a while. I don't know where the time has gone. It seems like the world opened up a little bit and I got busy doing other stuff, actually venturing out to do some other activities. But now it's kind of closing back down again. So I wanted to apologize for the length of time between videos, but I'm excited to share with you what I've been working on. I have several finishes. So first of all, I have our tiny Modernist, Every Day is an Adventure. This is on 22 count Aida that I dyed with some Aqua and gray, and it's going to go in our camper when I get it fully finished. But it's a cute little pattern. It took longer than I thought. The mountains took quite a while, but most of this was stitched while we were camping or on our way to camping, so that makes it kind of fun. I used all the call for DMC on that. So Every Day is an Adventure. Another finish, a big finish that I have, talking about camping, Route 66. This is by Little House Needleworks. I used some of the DMC conversion that was provided in the pattern, but then I also substituted different colors. I used Victorian Motto for most of it. Some of it I went similar to the called for colors, and some I just totally went off the rails and did something different. What I caught myself doing on the names of the states as they were going around, I was stitching along, and when I did the side, I caught myself turning my fabric and stitching my state names like that, but I really like the way it looks. So I don't know if the kosher way of doing it is keeping it like that, probably so, but for me it made sense to turn it sideways and stitch like that for around. But it turned out really pretty. This is on a 28 count Irish linen that I got at Michael's, and I like everything about it. I think it turned out really cute. So Route 66 by Little House Needleworks. The next one, this is one I started in July. This is a Merry Christmas by New York Dreamer. This is on a 28 count White Monaco. I used DMC, just the classic red green. And then I used a little bit of white here on this Christmas ball. So I changed the colors because I really wanted this one stitched on white. And it's the first alphabet I've done, but I love this, how it says Merry Christmas. So that's by New York Dreamer. And then, totally out of season, but I loved it. This is Spring by Cottage Needleworks. And I did this on some fabric that I dyed myself. I believe it was apple green and then the pink. And this was a 28 count White Monaco that I used the red dye on. I used a call for DMC colors on this one. It is so pretty. I say I used call for, I think I did on most of this. I'll have to look. If I don't remember or if I fail to say, I try to put everything in my show notes in the description box so you can see that. But I thought this one turned out so pretty. And I like the stiffness of this fabric for a change. I've been stitching with a lot of linen, so it was kind of fun to go to the stiffer Monaco and just stitch in hand for a while. But that's Spring. I don't know if you can see how pretty these colors are, but they're bright and happy. I'm filming inside today. I know my last couple of videos it was a little bit hard to see the stitching being outside, so I thought I would come back inside Let's see if that was a little bit easier for you all to see what I'm talking about. So those are my finishes. I do need to fully finish some items, but very pleased with my progress. Some of the things I've been working on. This is something that I just got. I showed you guys patterns last time of all my Plum Street patterns. It ends up I was heavy on my Plum Street samplers patterns. When I placed my order, I didn't realize it till I got them in, but I like their stuff. So, or her stuff. Autumn Hill is one that I did, and I have been doing some Victorian Motto, some DMC, and then also changing some things up. I pulled out this Golden Blossom 28 count Lugana. It's really bright. So suggestion that maybe I darken it up with some tea stain when I finish all of my stitching. I think I might do. I wanted some variation in the flosses, so I did pull several Victorian Mottos for the flowers. The dress, I actually stitched this in a new color from Victorian Motto. It was one of her limited colors called Shadow, and it was very green when I finished, and so all of my greenery I stitched with Victorian Motto Garden Greens, and it just looked very similar. So then I went back with a dark brown that was also Victorian Motto, and I stitched every other row in the brown. So I made her dress look like it has the stripes, the layers. And then the very top, I stitched kind of like it was like a little corset looking thing on her dress. And then I left her shoulders and arms in the original shadow color. So I think it stands out a little bit more that way, adds some interest. When I decided to go back and do the every other row in brown, I did not want to frog my stitches, so I stitched over them. When I did that, it just added a little bit of texture that I really, really like. So I'm very pleased with that, especially since there was enough room on that 28 count to add more stitches in. I feel like it just added some more interest to our lady there on the hill. So I'm still stitching. I've still got some flowers to fill in. And then this is just a total green hill. So I got Primitive Sage Green is what I believe I'm using from Victorian Motto for this one on the green hill. I'm going to stitch all of that. And then I'm going to grunge it up. It's not showing up on camera as much. It shows like a pale yellow, but really this is a orangey bright yellow. It's just very, very bright. But I think it also fits with this season. So probably grunge it up after I finish everything so it'll be equally grungy. So that's Autumn Hill by Paulette Stewart of Plum Street Samplers. I also went down the rabbit hole and started Pandemic. I did this one on some Vicki Clayton Mystery Linen. So Jan Hicks had talked about Vicki Clayton, and her prices are so reasonable, and I needed a humongous piece, so I bought the half, fat half, and then it had extra. So this is a 36 count mystery linen, and I'm using Silks4U PR124, I believe it's in the box. And there's my start. Very small start. I'm not quite like hooked on this one yet. I thought about, I don't know. There's a start. I like the ones that are doing everything except for like the birds and stuff in one color and then doing the birds in another color. I like that. But I also like the way this one's looking. This mystery fabric is darker than what's showing. It doesn't have a name, but it's a golden tan. And it looks pretty with this floss. So I know once I get hooked on it, I won't be able to let it go, but for now, I'm able to stitch on it a little bit and then put it back down. A flower sampler is another one. This is by 2x2 Stitch Art. And I've got it in the Q-snap. Oops. I just kind of unraveled a little bit. It's just 3 different colors of very variegated Victorian Motto pink flosses. And then the gray is a DMC. And I will list the colors in the description box. But flower sampler, it's big. There's so much fabric. It's one that I probably just need to go ahead and put on my Lowry stand and stitch that way. But I like this one. This gray part was my halfway point, so now I'm going across. So it's going to be a pretty big piece, but everything is going to be pink and gray. This is a 28 count, just that I bought at Hobby Lobby. Or maybe a 32. Oh, I'll look and list it in the description for you. My love from Hello from Liz Mathews that I started for my anniversary last May, this past May, is coming along nicely. All I have to do is just fill in. I'm using 2 colors from Victorian Motto, the Aqua and the Coral, and I just need to fill in my heart. I like the laciness of this. I kind of left it because this is good for mindless stitching when I'm chatting with somebody or watching something really awesome on TV that I don't want to miss anything. So that's my love. That's a freebie that she offered, and I think it's a sweet, sweet pattern. And then the one I've been putting the most time in on is Plum Street Samplers, Grace on Me. Such a sweet, sweet pattern. And I am doing this on, let me tell you right, it's a 36 count heritage sampler from Victorian Motto. I'm in her fabric of the month and her floss of the month club, and this is one of the monthly selections. So I am using Victorian Motto Red Velvet for the red. I'm using the DMC for the blue. I love this color, the 924, I believe. Yes, 924. Colonial stitching for some of the greens from Victorian Motto. Just the ecru for the mortar on the house. But this one's so sweet, and it's stitching up so nice. So all I need to do, I've got some greens down here, the grass, and then filling in the house. The bricks on this house were fun because they were all in line. They were not staggered like most brick houses. So very easy to stitch. I love the variegation in this floss, this red velvet floss from Victorian Motto. And I think it turned out pretty. I substituted colors. I went ahead and changed the colors of these urns, the flower holder, pot holders. I changed those to the 924 to match the roof because I think that's such a pretty color. And then I think everything else is pretty much good. This is, I used black coffee. Black coffee? Yes. Up here on this one for the words. But God Shed is Grace on Thee. Grace on Thee from Plum Street Samplers. That's the one that's had my attention. But now that it's just mindless fill in, I can do something different. So, speaking of mindless, this is not mindless, and I am going to have to start over. But I pulled a pattern. It was a free pattern from Joyful Expressions online. You sign up for their newsletter and you get the pattern. And it's the names of Jesus. And I saw this one and had to grab it. So I pulled purple puzzle, So Lovely Purple, and Mountain Wildflower, all from Victorian Motto, to use on this. And then for the second time, I did Blackbird on a 40 count, but I pulled a 40 count XG Design fabrics. So I had not stitched on XG Design before. I pulled the 40 count. This color is called Rustic Driftwood. It's a little bit darker than what's showing, not much. And I started stitching, and I was having to wear my magnifiers like big time on this. And then I noticed I got off and I made one of my bottom stitches a 1/3 instead of over 2, and then I matched it on the next letter. So I'm off on this one. I'm off half of a stitch. I don't know if it's worth it for me to frog it and go back and try the 40 count again, or if I just want to change to a 36 count. I don't know why it's so hard for me to see, but it's not enjoyable, and I really don't want to have to sit with my magnifying glasses on if I don't have to. And this one definitely requires it. So I'm thinking about this one. I really like the pattern. I thought if I could do a name a day, that would be a neat goal to have. But I'm trying to decide. I like the feel of her fabric, but like I said, this is just the second time I've tried on 40 count. My Blackbird ended up turning out well, but I used 40 count mallow, which I think is a whole different, since it's even weave, it was easier to stitch with. This being a true linen, it was a little bit more difficult. So trying to decide on that Joyful Expressions what I want to do, whether a 40 count or go down to 36 count. So to be determined. I will let you know what I decide. Victorian Motto, while I'm thinking about it, this is another, this was her August selection of fabric. This is just a neutral, is what it's called, 36 count neutral. I finally got my August shipment, middle of September. I have not received my September shipment, even though it's getting close to the middle of October. I did email, have not heard back, but I am missing my September shipment from her. But her colors are so pretty. I didn't want to give up. I want to keep trying. I went ahead and paid my October shipment, even though I've not received anything from September or any news of it, but I have faith that they'll make it right. But her colors are gorgeous. So gorgeous. So these are all August. Just showing you quickly because I know all of you have already received yours, but this is the limited flosses that I'm in, and also the neutral linens. When I did ask about my September shipment, I also requested that I be able to change to the limited fabrics, the limited linens, like the different colors, instead of just the neutral. Haven't heard back if I'm going to be able to switch to that, but hopefully they got that memo and I can change over. So that's a little bit of what I have been working on. Talking about linen and silk, I just have to show you, I mentioned that Victoria Clayton that I got for Pandemic. Since her fabric was so beautiful, I wanted to get another one, another piece. This is another mystery, and it's a fat half. And it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. It's just a really pretty golden tan. It's huge. So it's handdyedfibers.com is her website, and gorgeous stuff. So I have to tell you a story. I met a couple of friends from this channel, and they live so close to me. It's fun. We got together for the first time a couple of weeks ago and stitched, and they were so much fun. It was fun to have someone that kind of talked the same language and got as excited about cross stitch as I did. So hi Mavis, hi Karen. It was so fun meeting you, and I look forward to the next time we're together. They introduced me also to the Victoria Clayton silks. So I had to go shopping during our time together. I was on my phone placing an order, and I ordered the Victoria Clayton silks. These are the rubbed collection. So what it is, it's a shade, a color, and then other colors are lighter, like the finish has been rubbed off and it's just wearing away. So it's this beautiful variegation. The silk is gorgeous. They are 8.7 meters long. She puts hers on a spool. So you can either choose the single strand spool or the 6-stranded spool. I chose the 6-stranded spool, and it's the same length as DMC, 8.7, and I cut the strands. So if you do a 37-inch cut, just like on DMC, it's the perfect length to do the little floss cards. And Mavis and Karen were sweet. They gifted me with little floss cards, so I used these little floss tags. Karen handed me the sweetest gift bag, and I will share with you what else was in there in just a minute. So this is a rubbed blue. It feels so good. I just want to play with it. So after playing with Mavis's silk that she ordered, I just had to get my own. This one is chocolate. This is ash. This one is copper. They're so shiny, so soft. This one is aluminum. Gorgeous, steel blue. This one is cactus. They're all rubbed before the name, so rubbed cactus. This one is a cream. And it's not just a plain cream, it's a beautiful, shiny, gorgeous cream. This one is another rubbed chocolate. There's 2 of them, and they're almost the same, but one has a rubbed chocolate 1 and one has rubbed chocolate 2. So there's the 2 rubbed chocolates. One's a little bit lighter than the other. This one is blue velvet. Blue velvet. And then this is rubbed black. Gorgeous. So pretty. So Victoria Clayton has my business from now on. Her stuff is gorgeous, so beautiful. When I met with the sweet ladies, in addition to the floss tags, cross stitch addict bag, little zipper pouch. There was a little plastic mason jar that had the cutest stuff in it. So these are little super snips. They're teeny tiny plastic scissors with the metal points, and they're very sharp, but they're very tiny. And then you just put the cover back on. It just stays attached to it. So super snips. They're amazing. Needle threader. Needle minder. And then this is the best seam ripper ever. I had misplaced mine, so I was excited to find it. But the cool thing about this one, other than it being pretty, it has the rubber top. So after you have all your threads kind of ripped, you can go over it with this rubber top, and it helps pick up the floss from your fabric. So that was exciting. I also got a pattern in our meeting to stitch. This is a la-di-da pattern, and I have not stitched a la-di-da piece yet. So it's fun. We're going to be probably sharing some patterns, and we're definitely sharing the enabling of, getting more stuff. So that's really fun. Talking about la-di-da, there is a free la-di-da pattern, and I'm not going to show it, but it's on their website, and it's called Fallen Leaf. And it says, a fallen leaf is summer's wave goodbye. And it's a really sweet little pattern, and it just uses 2 colors. So if any of you are looking for a cute fall pattern, that's it. Another one, Oh, it's a gift thanks. And this is a complimentary chart from Plum Street Samplers. It says, in everything give thanks, and it has a row of pumpkins. Again, I don't want to show the pattern, but it is on her website, plumstreetsamplers.typepad.com. So a couple of freebies. Those are always fun. Now I've got some plans. I am so excited to start all the new things right now. I have a few going, but I also finished several. So I feel like when I finish, that's free reign to start another one. So my first order is to figure out the one that I was working on to see if I need to go to 36 or stay with 40, frog it and go. Not sure. My Goody Grimwood, I showed you the pattern last time. This is my Plum Street sampler. And I have a piece of Monaco that I tea and coffee stained. And I also use, I believe it was camel rit dye. So it's just a stiff, grungy piece. It's not too grungy, but it's enough that I think it will be really pretty with this pattern. So after talking and listening to some of you guys, I think I'm just going to go ahead and stitch this pattern as is. Maybe. It's quirky. It's fun. So I've got my fabric. I've got my working copy of my pattern. And I have not pulled threads yet. But definitely using that tea coffee stained Monaco on that for Goody Grimwood. Another one that I showed you last time, I had just gotten this pattern. And I was going to stitch ink circles after the roses, but then I saw this one, and it's by any other name, and it's while the roses are still blooming. I really like it when roses bloom. So pulled this one, and then for the fabric, haven't pulled threads yet, but for the fabric, this is an XG design called Little Bunny. And it is a 32 count. So it'll definitely be a little bit less challenging than the 40 count. It's just a really pretty blush pink. But I thought the pink would look pretty next to the reds of the roses. So need to pull some colors for that. So exciting. Love to start new things. My Jardin Privé that I ordered and showed you last time, Ondulations. I just can't believe I'd never seen this pattern before. It is the coolest pattern. I just got some 28 count White Monaco again because with this pattern, the black and white with little tiny pops of color, I think it has to be white. So I didn't know I would want to stitch on white so much, but between the Flower Sampler and Jardin Privé, I'm doing it. It's going to make the colors pop off that fabric. This is my favorite. I don't know why I didn't start this one first. This is the reason I placed my order in the first place. The Plum Street Sampler Sweetheart Hill. And I have pulled my red. Did I pull anything else? No, I knew I wanted this red. This is Glory Rose from Victorian Motto. And this is what I wanted for the house. I think it calls for Holly Berry, but I really like the Glory Rose. So I pulled the house color. Haven't pulled any other ones yet. And the fabric I chose for this one, it may be the called for fabric, which has never happened in my life that I've pulled it. Let me see real quick. Vintage Beeswax. Vintage Beeswax. I have never stitched on the call for fabric before. So this will be a first. So there's the fabric. Sweetheart Hill. I've still got to pull the other colors. But I'm definitely stitching on the called for. It asks for, I've got a 36 count. It was stitched on 36 count. I don't believe it. There's a first time for everything. So that's my Sweetheart Hill. Like I said, I don't know why I didn't start that one first. So that may be one that gets started today. There are so many things I want to do, and it's fun, you know, watching you guys on YouTube or Instagram. I just want to start that many more things because it makes it exciting. I have a couple of pieces behind me. This is the Priscilla Blaine's Autumn Acres Farm. And I love it because it's pumpkins for sale. There's pumpkins all over it. We got to go pumpkin picking at my father-in-law's patch the other day, and that was really fun to go see. So that's Autumn Acres. And then on the other side, I have my Playing with Jacks. I did the fall pumpkin in the middle instead of the jack-o'-lantern. I did a separate one with the jack-o'-lantern that I display when it's closer to Halloween. And then my little tray in the middle, let me see, my tray, Creed, my grandson, put that together. I was super impressed. He was pulling things out from under the cabinets that I'd stored away and decorating. He decorated my whole house. He just turned 7 and he has quite the talent at decorating. So this tray I just love. So I love fall colors. I love fall decorating. I have a fall candle going. Oh, love it, love it. So many things to be excited about. I look forward to hearing what you're working on. Thank you for your nice comments. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. I love our community. Someone asked me the other day, why do you do that? Why do you do YouTube? And I said, you know, I have met some neat people. I got a message the other day from someone that has their own channel, and she was like, hey, I was thinking about you and what do you think? And I was like, oh my gosh, she thought about me. It was fun. And that we can just like in an instant send a message and have an opinion on something or a second thought on something, or just to say hello, and we have our community. So like I said, I found a couple of ladies here to stitch with, and that is so exciting because we just don't have that in our area. They said they've tried and tried for years trying to find other people to stitch with. So at least their duo is a trio now, and they let me into their little group. So maybe someday we can record together. That might be fun. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble on about cross stitch and how excited I am about everything going on. And thank you for reaching out and saying hello. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, bye y'all.